Hello, this is Manish Patel from the EII Capital Group. Today is December 13th, 2011. It's our weekly Ichimoku analysis for the futures market, where we cover everything from metals to gold, silver, to crude oil, to gasoline, to commodity futures such as sugar, cotton, and so forth. Okay. Normal disclaimer, this is for educational use only. All charts that you see are going to be from Thinkorswim, TradeStation, or freestockcharts.com. Okay, here are my contact details at mpatel@eiicapital.com. You could access any of our free videos under the education section under ichimokutrade.com, or you can follow us at Twitter, Ichimoku Trading. Okay, so let's begin and let's go to the charts. Remember, left hand side is the daily time frame, right hand side is basically the weekly time frame. So let's go through and start going through all the futures from the very beginning, from Thinkorswim, from TD Ameritrade. We already covered a lot of the currency futures in the currency video, so we're not going to do that. So let's go first start with cocoa. If you look at cocoa on a weekly time frame, we're basically bearish trending here. We are oversold situation now, but doesn't mean that we can't go longer. Remember, trends stay in an oversold, overbought situation for a while. Okay, if you look at the daily time frame here, we finally moved above the red line, which means we could be in a counter trend or just a minor pullback. We're not sure right now, but basically what it comes down to is support is basically around the 2000 level, and resistance is going to be 2361. So we're not going to enter a major pullback until we at least break the major resistance level at 2361, and only time is going to tell us what's going to happen there. Until then, we could sit there and keep on going up. Right now, this could be a minor pullback and then continue to go downwards. And remember, you want to be a trend trader. Okay, crude oil, which is the interesting one. A lot of people have been bullish, some people have been bearish, back and forth. If you look at the weekly time frame, right now, if you look at this, it's basically is telling you that this right here is in the cloud, so it's consolidating. There's nothing really going on there. If you look at the daily time frame here, this was a trend. We now gone below the green line, which is a good thing, so we could sit there and try to do a counter trend. But right now we're in a state of influx, so this is not bullish nor bearish right now, and this could enter a major pullback or it could be a minor pullback. We don't know until we see some price action that's going to go on. Okay, if you look at the resistance level for crude oil, it's basically 103.46. Minor support. This is minor. Remember, this is what we said, minor, which is 97.29. It does have the ability to go all the way down to 89.16, which is a major support. So just be very careful in which way you take crude oil. Right now, it's kind of in a state of two different worlds, so you don't really know what's going on. Cotton. This one we've been talking about internally a lot. This has been bearish trending here on the weekly time frame here. You can see the huge move it's had from the bullish side here on the weekly time frame. Went up and it's gone down. It's retraced almost everything now to a point. It came back to the point, the resistance it had broken, and is now right at that now as a major support. If you look at the daily time frame, you could see basically it's broken down too. Again, remember, this is a major support level, 86.46, so it has a potential bouncing off that. If you look at the resistance level, is 95.66. So if you're looking at going short on this, I'll be very careful because the move is already moved and you're too late to the game. The only thing you could do is look for counter trend moves and wait till it goes bullish. If you look at the US dollar index right now, remember this weekly to bar right now is still forming. So right now it's above the cloud, so that means the sentiment is bullish, but does not mean anything. We've got to wait till the end of the week to kind of see what's going on. If you look at the daily time frame here, we're kind of in a scenario where we're double testing a double top here, where we're retesting this high. Now, whether this will be a double top or breakthrough, we don't know. We got to wait for price to sit there and move. Right now, to us, we're kind of overextended. Usually when you get to resistance, you don't want a big bar right now, but today, tomorrow, this week, the rest of this week will tell us if we're going to form a double top or we're going to sit there and reverse. But this is a major resistance level at 80.21 right now, and support is going to be at 78.51. Okay. Let's continue to go forward. We're going to look at gold in a minute. Feeder cattle, these meat futures are just really weird sometimes. If you look at feeder cattle, it's being bullish trending here. We're basically in a minor medium pullback right now, so anything can happen. 140 is basically the support level here. Resistance level is going to be 145. Really nothing going on daily at all. So this thing is kind of in a state of influx right now until it could get back above 145 and start going bullish. So nothing going on the feeder cattle side. Let's go look at lean hogs. Lean hogs is more bearish than feeder cattle. If you look at it, it's in the cloud, so it's bearish. But if you look at the daily time frame, this is definitely bearish. So this would be a good pairs trade you could look at, where basically you short lean hogs and basically go long feeder cattle. We've been talking about that for the last couple of weeks and the last couple of months, really. But right now, really nothing going on here where this thing's just consolidating. If it breaks below 84.79, can retest the low at 82.50. So that's a support level there. 86.63 is basically a minor resistance level for that one. Copper. Everyone loves talking about copper. If you look here, this is bearish sentiment here. It's done a pullback, and now it's got to resume to the downside. If it could break 3.3905, this thing could sit there and resume to the downside on a long-term basis to retest the lows at 3, and then we'll have to see exactly what happens once it gets there. If you look at the daily time frame, we're in a state of influx. So really nothing going on there. So again, major support level is going to be 3.3905, and major resistance level is going to be 3.600. Okay, heating oil. If you look at heating oil, basically it's in the cloud, so it's consolidating there. Sentiment last 2 days finally changed to the point it's bearish again now, but no trend as of yet. So we got to wait and see exactly what's going to happen with that one. Coffee, if you look at coffee, basically if it closes this week below the cloud, sentiment's now going to be bearish. And if you look here, we're kind of at a triple bottom, retesting this low 3 times in a row. This thing definitely is trying to go down there. It had a big gap down, big move down all the way to the resistance support level, and bounced off that. The key is if it breaks it. If it may not break it right now, but it looks like it's trying to break it really hard, and the sentiment's now changing on a weekly time frame. So there's a possibility of this thing breaking down. I'll definitely look at that. Look at coffee and look at it to go down. You can see the huge move up, and this thing does have the ability to go down faster than it came up, so watch out for this one to sit there and crash. Okay, lumber, if you look at lumber, nothing really going on. It's just consolidating. Resistance level is 235, support level is going to be 220. Okay, so nothing going there. Let's go look at live cattle. Live cattle here, you can look on the weekly time frame here. Basically, it was trending. Now it's pulled back. It's at a major support level at 117.28. Resistance level is going to be 120.76. Nothing really going on, but this thing does have the ability to start breaking down to the bearish side, but it's got to sit there and break support in order to do that. Okay. Natural gas, let's go look at this one. You can see natural gas has been going down. It's basically in a trend to the downside. It's getting a little oversold now to a point where it may sit there and start going up for a pullback. If you look at the daily time frame, look at that big gap down yesterday, going up a little today, but really it's out of equilibrium right now to a point it's oversold, so it does need a minor pullback, and then the key will be what will happen at 3.4353 is a resistance level to see exactly what's going to happen there. And if you look at support, you could see that we're kind of retesting this low right here, which is 3.254. Okay. Let's go frozen concentrated orange juice. Really, if you look at the weekly time frame, nothing going on right now. And daily time frame, nothing going on at all right now. This thing is starting to look like it's trying to set up for the bearish side, so definitely look out for this one. If it could sit there and break below 164, then you do have a possibility of this thing starting to go down lower and lower. So definitely look there. Right now it's consolidating, but you need it to break down through there. If it breaks above 171.60, then there may be a possibility of a trend starting to happen, but we got to see exactly what's going to happen at that point. Palladium, If you look at it, it's in the cloud, so it's consolidating. It did go down bearish, then it came back into the cloud. Depends on where we close this week. If you look at on the daily time frame, this was sentiment was bullish. It came out of the cloud, came back in the cloud now. So we got to wait and see this thing. It's got to break 700, which is a resistance level, and 627 is basically a support level. Platinum, you could see here, sentiment was bearish, came back, pulled back. Now it's trying to retest the lows here. So you got to watch out for this one now. Where it's going to go. So if it breaks down further, this thing can sit there and start going lower and lower and lower. We're at a minor support level right now of 1493, and if you look at the daily time frame, you could see that we did basically break down after we went into the cloud. And it does look like we're trying to get down back to the support level of 1450, which is a major support level there, and 1580 is basically a major resistance level. Okay, gasoline. If you look at gasoline, the sentiment is bearish because we're below the cloud here. If you look at the daily time frame, really nothing going on at all right now in the daily time frame. We had a bearish movement down here. We pulled back, and we're just kind of consolidating, which is not good. If this thing was completely bearish, this has got to break down and start retesting the lows at 2.45. The longer it doesn't, the more it's going to give momentum to the bullish side. So you're going to have bulls and bears fighting it out, where this thing's going to enter a state of consolidation. Okay. Sugar, if you look at sugar, sentiment's now bearish, and this has a possibility of breaking down further. If you look on the weekly, if you look at the daily time frame, it broke down, came back up here, retested the old resistance support level and made it resistance here, and now it's just kind of hanging around. If this thing could sit there and break below 23, this is going to start a trend where it could go all the way down to 20. So definitely watch out for sugar to the short side. Silver, a lot of people have been waiting for this one. Silver, if you look at it, sentiment's now bearish. It's got to sit there and start breaking down now. And if you look at the daily time frame here, 30 is like a line in the sand for this thing. If it could break down below 30, this thing's going to start a trend going all the way down to 26 or lower. But that's a major support level is 30. And if you look at resistance level, you're looking at basically about 33. Okay. Where is gold? Did we miss gold? Oh, there's gold. That's silver. Gold. There we go. Gold, if you look at the weekly time frame, right now, if you look at it, basically we've been trending for years now, and you could see that we've been trending for years. We finally had a trend up, now pull back. This is a minor pullback, believe it or not. We have not had a major pullback at all. This could be it. We got to wait and see what happens, basically. If you look over here, on the daily time frame, we basically have gone below the cloud again, so we have a bearish momentum right now. It does not mean we're trending at all right now. We got to sit there and break below about. We got to break below. There's a lot of minor support levels here. 1618 is a major support level, which we got to break down to. If we break below that, then we have a possibility of going down into the 1500s, 1400s. Okay. If we get above 1730, then we have a possibility of ending that bearish momentum and start entering consolidation, maybe looking for a bullish pattern, but as of yet, nothing. Okay, 30-year Treasury bonds. If you look at 30-year Treasury bonds, we're basically bullish trending as far as the weekly is concerned. Kind of getting a little top heavy here because we're overbought, and you could see that from the daily time frame, where we're between two different worlds right now, where we're between a major support at 140,25 and major resistance at 142,19. Okay, so that's 30-year Treasury bonds. Corn, if you look at it, basically in the cloud, we're consolidating. If you look here on the daily time frame, we had a bearish trend going on. We're consolidating. If this thing does not break above 603.25, we're not going to enter a major pullback at all, and we're just going to consolidate. So we're waiting for a minor break of 603.25 to sit there and start looking for counter trend opportunities to go up to about 623. If it breaks below 550, then this is going to start a trend. Sorry, 580. This is going to start a trend again to the downside. Okay, soybean oil. It's in the cloud, nothing going on there. Major support level is going to be about 48, 47.50. And you could see that basically we are bearish. We started a trend, we retested lows, kind of bounced off the retesting of the lows, came back here, and kind of consolidate now. So this thing's trying to make up its mind what it wants to do, break down or consolidate. Soybean oil meal, you could see it's trending on both time frames. It is oversold now, so be careful of entering short there. Okay, 10-year Treasury bonds. If you look at it, it's bullish trending here, getting topside heavy where it's just consolidating here at the top. You can see here. Major support level is going to be 129,17, and major resistance level is going to be 131,003. Oats, if you look at oats, if you look at it on a weekly time frame, it is bearish sentiment now, just kind of consolidating right here around a major resistance support level, which was around 310, kind of hanging around there. Over here was bearish trending, then it's starting to just consolidate at the bottom, as we talked about on the weekly. This thing's got to make up its mind which way it wants to go. It's kind of hanging around a major support / resistance level now. 320 is its minor resistance level, and 290 is a major support level there. Soybean futures, if you look at it, it's bearish trending on the weekly time frame, and it's also bearish trending on the daily time frame. But right now it looks like it's oversold, so be very careful in going short. And if you look at wheat basically, you look here, you can see that it's trying to break out and some major support level here at 590. If it could break that, then it could start a trend to the downside, and you can see here on the daily time frame it's just consolidating. More it consolidates, then the worse it's going to be for the bears. This thing's got to break through. 618 is basically a minor resistance level that you have. Thank you, and I will see you next week.